Hey, what's going on, and welcome to the show. My name is Sergio Cruel. For those of y'all who do not know who I am, I'm a journalist. I've been doing this for about a decade now. Currently, I work for a news station called Spectrum News in upstate New York. Again, I've been doing this for a while, and welcome to Deep into Journalism. So on this show, I'm going to be talking about or helping families that have a missing loved one. This is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I've realized being in my position. A lot of cases, unfortunately, don't get covered and will not get covered. And it's very unfortunate. There's so many families out there who need help. And unfortunately, there's not enough space on TV to really make that happen. And that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But on today's show, Deep into Journalism, I'm going to be taking you back to my very first missing person case in 2016. I worked for the station I worked for at the time was called Chasing News. And this was a case that really opened my eyes up to what was happening in my city of Philadelphia. I'm born and raised in Philly, and that's where I started at in the TV industry. And this was the case that really opened my eyes up to what was happening in our country, what was happening in the world around us. And because I was on TV, I figured, you know what, it's my responsibility to help this family. This is the case of Andrew Berry, my first missing person case. And guess what? We were able to give this family closure, but there's a lot of families out there who will not get the closure and does not get the closure that they need. He was shot 6 times in the chest. And guess what? The family is still looking for closure in the sense of his case is still unsolved and they still need help. This is Deep into Journalism. Let's get into it. So Andrew, he's the second generation, Andrew Berry Jr. He was 29 years old. He was last seen in Northeast Philly in the Frankfurt area on November the 6th, 2016. That's when he went missing. Now, the family reached out to me about a week after he went missing, but they were reaching out to some other news outlets at the time. Now, Andrew, we were able to do his story, and I'll show you that in a minute, but he was found shot in a wooded area near Waldemire Drive and Brookview Street on November 22nd, 2016. 9 years ago, that's in the Philadelphia area, the Northeast Philadelphia area. It's unfortunate that it's been 9 years and his case is still unsolved. It's still unsolved. I talked to a police buddy of mine and unfortunately, detectives are not really looking into his case right now. And I also talked with the family as well, so they did confirm that. But I want y'all to check out this story right here. This was my first missing person case, the story of Andrew Berry.
I can't sleep at night. I don't have the right answers for my children that's asking for their dad.
Taisha Zeigler's husband, Andrew Berry, is missing. Their 4th child was born on Monday, but Andrew was not there. No one has seen or heard from him since he walked out the doors of his Northeast Philadelphia home 11 days ago. Taisha made plans to go furniture shopping with Andrew's mother. Andrew told Taisha that he was going out and that he would be right back. When Taisha returned home later Sunday evening, she noticed that Andrew wasn't there. So she called him multiple times, no answer, went straight to voicemail. The next morning, Andrew still wasn't home, so she filed a missing persons report.
I just know this is not him. I know he wouldn't just walk away from us or his kids or his mom. Nobody have seen or talked to him. None of his friends, nobody. This is not his normal. If this was his normal, then I wouldn't be so worried. This never happened.
Andrew was recently diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenia a month ago, but the family does not believe it had anything to do with his disappearance or his mental state. Andrew was last seen in the Frankfurt section of Philadelphia. His mom received multiple phone calls from people in the neighborhood stating that they might have actually seen Andrew.
He has a lot of friends, and they've been questioning about him too. But it's just the point that how you just disappear. Don't nobody just, if he's somewhere alive, that would be great. But if he's not, give us what we need to do with the rest of it to move on.
I went to the 4700 block of Mulberry Street where Andrew was allegedly last seen. I walked the Frankfurt area, I went inside businesses, and no one has seen Andrew. To my surprise, most of the flyers that was put up later on in the week was actually torn down, even in the businesses.
You know what would have gotten a lot more media attention? If he were a young blonde she.
It's a racial thing?
Come on.
That's ridiculous.
Here's the thing.
Ridiculous.
We know what missing persons cases are big news. Natalie Holloway was a massive one. I mean, we had people cover that story for years. They still haven't found the body. I mean, this is.
That had nothing to do with race.
If Jess went missing, we would search so hard
There
for you.
are a lot more predators that can do something to me than a fully grown man.
No, it absolutely isn't. We know it race.
It's absurd. 10 days ago, the family reached out to multiple media outlets. And guess what? Nobody ran this story.
If he's watching us, all I say is, Andrew, if you out of it, whatever the case may be, you know, just call us because you have everybody looking for you.
Even before the family reached out to me about the story, they went to different news outlets, and unfortunately, nobody would touch it. I think they did one interview. At the time, he had 3 children. He had one on the way. Going out and being a part of the story, family reaching out to me, I'm out there, I'm searching, as y'all saw. Taisha, she was out there with me, and she was telling me how that, you know, she went and posted up all these flyers in these businesses and these stores, and we went back to those stores, and those flyers were torn down. They were torn down. I remember walking probably in about 6 different stores and spending a lot of time in that neighborhood, walking up to different people and just trying to figure out what happened to this guy. And when it comes to a lot of missing person cases, this is what families need to understand. You know what, before I get to that, because this is right here on your screen right now, so as you can see, I was happy that somebody said the truth. When it comes to certain missing person cases, and I get it, there's a difference there's a difference when it's a kid versus an adult. I totally understand that. But when it comes to somebody's missing person, someone's family member, race shouldn't play a part in it at all. I covered this case not because Andrew was another black man like me. I covered the case because I had a platform. And I felt like it was my job and my obligation. It could have been anybody. A family reached out to me for help, and that's what I decided to do, was help. And unfortunately, when it comes to a lot of news stations out there, they won't cover these cases. That's just the reality. That's just the reality of that, right? So, and unfortunately, it is unfortunate. So again, when it came to this case, what I wanted to do was help this family as much as I could. This was a guy who was loved by everybody. This was a guy who really, really wanted to go places in life. And it's unfortunate that his life was cut short. Family reached out to me, people on social media were reaching out to me, and after we put the story out, we were able to find him. We were. Unfortunately, it was not the outcome that the family wanted, and that's unfortunate. But again, it goes back to getting closure. The family got some sort of closure. And this is what I will say. Once we did find out, well, let me back up. After we posted the story, after we put the story on TV, we put it on social media, right? That story reached about 2 million people on Facebook at the time. Over 10,000 comments. That's how many people cared about this case. That's how many people cared about helping this family. His wife, Tracy, she gave birth to their 4th child prematurely because of all the stress that she was going through. I remember being there and watching her cry. I remember being there and watching her, go through all the stress that she was going through. And it's very, very unfortunate. It was good to see the community show love. It was good to see the community show support for this family, because this can happen to anybody. This can happen to anybody. There's so many cases out there where we hear a person just walks off and they never come back home. That's just what happens sometimes. Here's part 2 of the story.
I just know this is not him. I know he wouldn't just walk away from us or his kids or his mom. Nobody have seen or talked to him. None of his friends, nobody. This is not his normal. If this was his normal, then I wouldn't be so worried. This never happened.
Thanksgiving is a time where families come together to give thanks and also share a common moment of happiness and love. But unfortunately for the family of Andrew Berry, this Thanksgiving will never be the same. Last Thursday, I told the story about 29-year-old Andrew Berry, who was last seen on Sunday, November the 6th, after leaving his Northeast Philadelphia home. At that time, Andrew has been missing for 11 days and also missed the birth of his fourth child on Monday, November the 14th.
I can't sleep at night. I don't have the right answers for my children that's asking for their dad.
We posted a story on our Chasing News Facebook page, and the love and support continued to pour in. It was shared over 10,000 times, and hundreds of people wrote in to support the finding of Andrew. Tuesday evening, Andrew Berry's body was found. He was shot 6 times in the chest. His body was found on Byberry Road by Archbishop Ryan High School.
For him not to be here hurts. My kids are hurting. Just to watch my son, when we had to tell them that their dad is going, to watch my oldest son, which is named after him, fall to the floor and cry. All I can do is just hold him.
The family is very thankful for everybody who has been supporting them, and they just want to give their gratitude to all of our viewers nationally and now internationally.
All I can do is just keep sharing the pictures with them, showing the videos, the fun times we had. That's all I can do, is keep praying and keep them surrounded by love.
You know, you're sitting here with the family, the distraught, the pain, the suffering. I can't even imagine the day before Thanksgiving. I mean, any day, this is a horrific tragedy. So you got to first let them know, obviously our thoughts and prayers are with them, and I can't imagine what they're going through. Is there, you know, what can we do to help?
I want the person who did it to be found. Just know the person, the loving dad and husband that Andrew was in our home. My kids, that's the person that they're going to remember.
Chasing News, the show that I used to work for, this was a show you can obviously see one of my colleagues crying. It was emotional, it was real, and then the host of the show, he asked his family, he asked Tracy, what can we do to help? And that's what we try to do. It's all about helping families, and I think that having a platform, you're supposed to help. But about 4 days later, that's when the police found his body. He was shot 6 times in the chest, and the police found him in Northeast Philly. But what you guys didn't see, there's the comments right there. You see all the comments and the loves and the prayers, to this family. But what y'all didn't see was that when I got the call that the police found Andrew, I got the call from Andrew's sister-in-law, Taisha, which you will hear from shortly. When I got that call, I was happy. I was happy that, I'm like, man, we were able to find him. He got closure. The family got closure. We did what we set out to do. But when she told me that he got shot 6 times in the chest, man, that really hit me. And it hit me hard because I'm like, man, I was there with this family from the start. And we did a follow-up story. And the day that we were doing the story, she gets a call from the medical examiner's office saying that she can now come identify Andrew's body. And they asked me if I wanted to go. And I went down there, and Andrew's family was there, obviously, and there was so many people down there. And, being a new journalist at the time, I just want to be respectful to the family. I just want to make sure that I do them justice. But that was a very emotional time for the family. And, but just being a part of their journey is what makes my job not even feel like a job, because we're helping somebody. I'm helping somebody, and that's really all I truly care about. So, the reason why I wanted to make this first show about this family is because it's been next year will be 10 years. Okay, we're going into 2026. It's been 9 years, and Andrew's case is still unsolved. There's too many unsolved cases in this country. And I'm gonna do my part to help this family as I did 9 years ago. But I want y'all to hear from Taisha, which is Andrew's sister-in-law, who y'all saw in the first story. She was the one that reached out to me when I first did the story. She was the one that reached out to me and texted me that they found Andrew. And I got a chance to speak with her. She was unavailable to go on camera, but we did talk over the phone. So let's take a listen.
Andrew left behind 4 children. Andrew Berry III is his oldest. He's 18 now. Then he also has a set of twins. The twins, their names are Samira and Samira Berry. They are 16. And then when Andrew went missing, my sister Tracy, she was pregnant with their youngest child. His name is Ayub Berry. And Ayub just turned 9. So in 2016, when it happened, Ayub had to come into this world in that moment because Tracy's blood pressure was through the roof. She had preeclampsia because of all the things that was happening around us. So he was born November 14th, 2016.
They are all doing well, but especially
Mhm.
Andrew, little Andrew. So I know he's in the Air Force. Losing your father at such a young age, things could have went a totally different way.
Andrew is doing excellent. What kind of catapulted him into a great career at the Air Force was like him moving with my brother. When Andrew was growing up, of course, he loved his family, but he especially loved his Uncle Sharif. So when everything unfolded in 2016 and we lived through that tragedy, my brother, of course, was there for us. Even his Air Force squadron supported us in so many ways. When he would visit in the summers or during holidays, of course, him and Andrew would bond. But in 2020, when the world shut down and the kids was mostly at home, my brother like talked to us about him like bringing Andrew out to live with him. He just wanted to make sure that Andrew would be provided an environment where he could thrive. Andrew being murdered, my dad being murdered, and then our little brother also being murdered in 2020, which also sparked this idea. We just wanted Andrew to understand this is not normal.
Right.
And there are safe environments and safe communities out there. So, and Andrew, he's a great kid. He always was, and we really wanted to cultivate that.
Right.
Like, of course, his upbringing molded him to be like a very outstanding student, a very respectable kid.
Any man that takes on somebody else's responsibility is, you gotta commend that person for that. So what would you kind of like to say to somebody that's going to be watching this in regards to Andrew and really getting the closure that your family want?
I think the closure comes in different forms. We find closure, which is also peace, which is also acceptance. We find that through his children.
Right.
They have they have found themselves outside of their trauma. They have healed. They have become great students, great athletes. They have identified what they want to be when they graduate college. They have defined pathways to get there. Although life can be crazy, positive things come from it. Because if we hadn't lost Andrew,
Hmm.
maybe little Andrew wouldn't have had the opportunities that he has now. He just really loved his school. The education was top notch. Sports and leisure was top notch.
Nice.
Also, all the clubs surrounding the school was awesome. He did boxing. He was involved in everything. So
Nice.
he evolved in a way that we never saw coming because honestly, the frequency of it in our city and our crime numbers are like can be alarming, and then you're especially mindful of it when you've gone through it personally. We have to transform the way we see death. Like for a long time we called it a nightmare, and it was, but so many positive things came out of it. For instance, you shed light on what we were going through, and so many others were able to identify the steps they needed to take to find their loved ones.
You just heard from Taisha. She is Andrew's sister-in-law. She was the one in the first story that when I went out searching for Andrew and trying to get answers in that neighborhood. She was the one that was there with me. And, I'm just grateful that I had the platform. I'm blessed to know that, we were able to do something to help this family. But most importantly, she said that, because of their story, there were other families that reached out to them and that were like, hey, we're going through the same thing. And Now we know what to do, how to take the proper steps. And after that case, somebody else did reach out to me because they saw the story. And we were able to help them as well. So that's truly what it's all about. But we need to continue to share this. That was 9 years ago. 9 years ago today, that is when Andrew Berry was found shot and killed in that wooded area. A wife lost her husband. 4 children lost their dad. A mom lost her son. Take time out to share this. Now, to know that the children are doing great. Andrew III, he's in the Air Force. When a young man loses his father at such a young age, and especially how a person goes plays a part in your grieving and how you grieve. But to know that he came out on the other side of this, that's the real victory. That's the real closure. So to wrap this up, Tracy, she's doing well, she's happy. All of the kids are doing great. As you can imagine, it's a lot of trauma. And every single year around this time, they have to relive the same trauma over and over and over again. And just imagine how many other families have to continue to relive that trauma over and over again, especially not knowing who actually killed their loved one. It's been 9 years and no suspects, no answers. This family is still living day to day, year to year. So if you do have any information that can help this family, please reach out to the Philadelphia Police at 215-686-TIPS or 215-686-8477, or you can reach out to me. Many people don't want to go to the police, and I understand that. Also, if you have a missing loved one, you have a missing person, and you would like help, please go over to deepinthejournalism.com and submit your story. When a loved one goes missing, my job is to make sure that the world knows their name. That's what I will continue to do. So again, a lot of people requested that the show comes back. There's a lot of people out here that need help, unfortunately, but that's my job, and that's what I'm gonna do, try to help as many families as possible. My name is Sergio Cruz, and this is Deep in Journalism. Peace and love.